Wanted to take a quick minute to do a quick reflection on the last saying of Christ on the cross before he passes into death. We're actually going to go through this in Luke 23, verse 44. So we start at verse 44. It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m, for the sun stopped shining, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus called out in a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." When he said this, he breathed his last. The centurion, seeing what had happened, praised God and said, "Surely this was a righteous man." When all the people who had gathered to witness this saw what took place, they beat their breast and went away. But all those who knew him, including the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance watching these things. So the last saying of Christ, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." He's actually, again, quoting another psalm, Psalm 31:5. And in Psalm 31:5, you see total surrender to God in his particular situation. And Jesus is really echoing that here. Psalm 31 goes like this, starting in verse 1. "In you, Lord, I have taken refuge. Let me never be put to shame. Deliver me in your righteousness. Turn your ear to me. Come quickly to my rescue. Be my rock of refuge, a strong fortress to save me. Since you are my rock and my fortress, for the sake of your name, lead me and guide me. Keep me free from the trap that is set for me, for you are my refuge. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Deliver me, Lord, my faithful God." So in true fashion of the sayings that he's had on the cross, he's quoting the psalmist. And also too, notice the centurion guard who's really stirred up to belief through this whole experience as he's watching Jesus, this innocent man, this man of righteousness that he's come to see as he's been seeing everything unfold. And John feels the need in his writing to declare Christ innocent. And again, remember, we saw that with the thief on the cross who said this man has done nothing wrong. There's this perpetual notion that John's trying to get across of like, Jesus is innocent. This isn't something that he was afforded or he did wrong, but that man was willfully moving him to the cross and through the crucifixion, even though he was innocent. So John is very concerned of making sure that fact is articulated in the gospel. So these are the final words of Christ. He commits his life in full to God, an offering of pure love to the Father. Notice too the willing, intentional surrender. It's not something that was forced. He wasn't coerced to doing this. He, in full submission to the divine will, in full alignment with God and God's purposes and his plan, in full communication with God, he willingly goes through with this as it's a part of God's plan for the salvific story.